Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Save Point Vids presents the definitive top 10, where we bring to you typically the top 10, anything we want to talk about in relation to video games. But this week we wanted to do something a little different with the Oscars, the 92nd Oscars having just passed. We wanted to actually talk to you about our top 10 Best Picture winners. So these are our personal top 10 list of just the winners for Best Picture from the Academy Awards. And then what we'll do is, if there is any overlap, we'll of course create it and combine it into a definitive top 10 list. If you like the sound of that, you're new to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. As always, we appreciate and love the support that you guys have shown us so far. First off, let's get started, and then
And the winner is...
did any of you guys actually watch the Oscars this year?
Yeah, I always watch the Oscars.
No.
I hate it because of all the politicalness that they throw in there, but
Right.
I just am a fan of movies, so that's the only reason why I watch it.
Right. Yeah, I did too. I enjoyed it. I really want them to figure out a way to cut down the show from 3.5 hours to 2 hours.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be that long.
It really doesn't at all. It's there's a lot of.
They should just cut off some of the
smaller
ones.
awards. They should do how the Grammys does it. They announce award winners for smaller categories before the actual show starts.
Yeah.
Well, I think they do. They just need to do it more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot, and they did do that a little bit last year, and they got a lot of backlash. I think it was for
And they don't
cinematography or something. One of the bigger ones, not the biggest, but
they don't need to do that many music performances. It's the Oscars, not the Grammys.
fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Or costume, I mean, not for smaller...
Right.
Small.
No, I would love for them to figure out a way to knock it down to 2 hours and just have it from 8 to 10 instead of what was it, 8 to 11:30?
11:30 or something.
Christ.
Yeah. We just kind of had it on the background and just peeked up whenever
Right.
something interesting came on.
So yeah, like I said, if you end up liking this video, tell a friend, thumbs up, check it out on podcast services. It's all under one feed. All you have to do is search the Save Point Vids podcast. You'll find the top 10 show that we do here, as well as all of our other content in that same feed. So check it out there. Good reviews, thumbs up, all
And
that.
check out our new segment for the reactions that Sean and Chase have been doing.
Yeah, we're watching The Witcher, so if you guys want to watch along, then tune in.
There you go. All right, so who wants to go first, starting with number 10?
I guess I will.
All right.
My number 10 is Unforgiven.
Unforgiven.
Excellent.
I always forget that movie even won Best Picture. I haven't seen it.
It was actually the first Clint Eastwood movie I ever saw.
Really?
Yeah. But I mean, I've seen a lot of them now, but that was the first one
That he played in, or did he direct it?
that he starred in, those old spaghetti westerns.
Yeah.
Kitty.
Even though he's not Italian, but
He could do anything. He was an astronaut.
An old astronaut at that.
But yeah, I don't know. I love westerns.
Yeah, I love all his westerns.
Yeah,
And he had a good supporting cast on there. I mean, I'll jump in here too. That was my number 10.
Is it your number 10?
Yeah.
On the list.
yeah. I like Morgan Freeman in it.
Definitely. And Gene Hackman always plays a good bad guy.
And the entire movie, you're waiting and wanting him to just whoop his ass pretty much with guns. Because he can, but he's just he's slowly getting coaxed back out of his peaceful ways into his murderous ways.
As with any good Western, that's how it goes.
Yeah. And it was a good send-off for his last role as a cowboy Western.
Don't
Yeah.
even think about it.
I mean, all his other stuff that he's done, I love. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Yeah, that's probably my that's probably my
Fistful of
favorite
Dollars.
Clint Eastwood movie is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Oh yeah, definitely.
What is
But-
on that camera?
I don't know.
But yeah, that's my number 10.
All right. My number 10 is Crash. I've seen this movie, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 times. Every single time it gets me. For those that might not know exactly what it is, it's basically about race relations in LA. It's
Lay down.
I don't remember what 5. I think 4 or 5 different sets of characters that their stories and their lives intersect at different points. It's all based around, again, race relations and kind of the what's the word I'm looking for? Not cliches, but the prejudices that whether we consciously or unconsciously have towards people that are seemingly different than us, and how it really isn't. We're not all that different in the end. It just like really blew me away. There was a couple moments that really got to me. It was a great movie. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend it. It still holds up. Don Cheadle's in it. I think that's one of the first movies, if not the first movie that I remember him in.
Captain America.
Matt Dillon's in it. Who's the other? Sandra Bullock. Yeah, there's a bunch of big name actors.
Sandra Bullock, Brendan Fraser.
Oh yeah, Brendan Fraser.
Oh god, yeah.
Forgot about that. Sandra Bullock's husband. Yeah.
A lot of people forgot.
Yeah, Brendan Fraser. But anyway, so that's
I love Blast from the Past and The Mummy.
Yeah, I mean that was his good movies back in the day.
But yeah, so that's a great movie. So
I forgot about it.
If you haven't seen this, check it out. Crash number 10.
My number 10, Braveheart, which is
wow, that's pretty low.
I mean, it's pretty high considering there's been like 90-something Academy Awards.
For you, that's pretty low for me.
Yeah, no, I got a lot of movies on it. It was hard to pick these, I'll tell you what. Let me throw out my honorable mention just real quick. Okay. No Country for Old Men, which is the Coen Brothers movie from...
I just missed the cut.
See, I've never seen that.
I think that was like 2008 or something like that.
I don't remember
that.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, right around there. Anyways, but yeah, Braveheart's number 10, which, if you're kind of like nerdy and watching this, I'm assuming you kind of know what Braveheart is, but it's the story of William Wallace.
Loosely based.
Loosely based
on William Wallace.
Although I will say Mel Gibson does an amazing Scottish accent.
Mm-hmm. I remember watching this movie when it was on VHS, and it came in 2 VHS tapes.
I remember that.
Yeah, man. That was how he had to get it done.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just I love historical action drama period movies, and
this
is one of the best.
Mel Gibson was on top of his game.
Yeah, he could do no wrong, or so we thought.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. It hasn't all come to light yet.
But yeah, I love Braveheart.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. What is your not the only thing, but one of the things that I remember at Braveheart is that they had to, I can't remember who it was, maybe it was PETA or something. Do you guys know where I'm going with this?
The horses?
Yeah. Where the death of the horses
loosely.
looks so realistic that whatever governing body protects horses and animals had to come out to
make sure they weren't really hurt.
They weren't really like slaughtering horses by the dozens. So, but yeah, a great movie. It really is a good movie. All right, what is your number 9?
My number 9, Annie Hall.
Annie Hall. All right,
Annie Hall.
Good.
I love Annie. It is. I've only seen it a couple of times, but it was so funny. It's just classic Woody Allen. It's just his bumbling self, but at its best.
Yeah, Annie Hall's a good movie. I don't think it's my. Go ahead, never mind.
I do like Woody Allen. I think my favorite one was he was trying to escape from prison
with the bar of soap.
Take the money and run. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, he carved it out of soap and it started raining.
Yeah, it was soap and shoe polish.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Like that and like Sleeper.
Sleeper was good. Yeah.
But yeah, that's the main reason why I like it. It's just because it's more like grounded than those two movies.
Right.
Even though I like those movies better. But
now is this the one where doesn't somebody get murdered or somebody die? And it's like kind of like not a dark comedy, but they're like trying to solve, like somebody dies in their apartment. It has Diane Keaton in it because I know they starred in a couple movies together. I don't know if it was this one or the other one, but there was one where
there were like
I don't remember somebody dying.
They live in an apartment building.
Their axle's broken.
Oh, this one.
Where Sean, maybe you know this, because there was a couple movies where Woody Allen and Diane Keaton starred together. Was Annie Hall the one where
I don't remember anybody dying in Annie Hall.
where they live in an apartment building and somebody across the hall either like dies or I think they get murdered, and they're trying to solve. It's obviously a comedy, but they're trying to solve the murder.
I know the plot of Annie Hall is based around the relationship between Diane Keaton and Woody Allen. I don't know. If that's like the main focus,
I haven't seen a whole lot of
is
Woody Allen
solving a
movies.
murder, then that's not Annie Hall.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I haven't
It's
watched
basically
it.
about like the relationship, how it like starts, and then
Right.
how it gets good, and then how it gets bad, and pretty much how they move on at the end.
Yeah,
It's
their
hilarious.
their combo is kind of like what Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan's
Mm-hmm.
combo was.
Yeah. Woody
In the
Allen's so
90s.
funny though.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's freaking hilarious.
Let's see. I'm looking it up because I want to do.
Okay.
Uh,
I'll go with my number 9 then.
That's fine.
My number 9 is Dances with Wolves.
Ah, yes. This is a good movie.
I've never seen it all the way through.
You never seen it all the way through?
No,
Either.
I
Never.
I would like to, but I just haven't.
Yeah, it's probably one.
I've
It might
seen
be on
I've,
Netflix.
I've
Yeah,
seen
I
it.
think it is.
I think
Or
I've
maybe
seen
I've
all
seen
of it
it.
like in pieces, maybe with like a half hour here and there missed. But
Yeah, I just
I remember the ending, so I know I've
Yeah.
seen the ending.
I love the story of it. Just the Native Americans in the Civil War.
Yeah.
And it was just a good movie.
Avatar was
Oh, this
actually
was-
heavily
this was a
inspired
lot
by
later.
Dances with
Mhm.
Wolves.
It was sorry, going back to the last one, Manhattan Murder Mystery.
No,
It was
I don't
him
think I've
dying-
seen that one.
Him and Diane Keaton. This came out in '93, so it was much later than Annie Hall.
Yeah, I didn't think that anybody
Yeah.
was murdered in Annie Hall. I felt like I would have remembered that.
But yeah, this was I think this is one of my favorite Kevin Costner movies out there. So
I'm just gonna say it now, just once and for all. Waterworld, not that bad.
I like
It's
Waterworld.
Yeah,
I
it's
haven't
bad.
seen it since I was
It's not.
a
It's
kid,
not.
honestly.
It's not great. I mean, it's
It's
not
not-
like
it's
top
not-
tier, but it's not bad.
it's not.
The reason why it has such a bad reputation is because they spent a whole bunch of money
Yeah,
on
the
it,
budget was like astronomical, even by
And-
today's standards.
and they didn't. You know,
It bombed.
Yeah.
it bombed. But like it
I
was,
mean, the concept was pretty good.
it was supposed to be like a trilogy or a series.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was supposed to have at least a sequel, but
I thought it was like I remember it
What
being
was the
pitched.
second one going to be? Dirt World.
I thought it was supposed
They're
to
all
be like
just sitting on the top of that Mount
Yeah.
Everest, and like the water's
Well, it
just
was like
slowly-
it's supposed to be like Mad Max, but on the water. Was how I remember it being pitched at some.
Yeah, that's
I
pretty much what it
remember
was.
Yeah, I started to talk and forgot I had water in my mouth. My number 9 is Rocky, the original.
That's my number 9 also.
Is it?
Yeah.
So it's not.
and
It's
since
definitely
we're
not.
there, it's my number 8.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So 1.
Mine's
You're making
higher.
them do too much math, Chase.
And then 2, 3. Okay.
I love that movie. Every time it comes on, I always have to watch
You
it.
gotta
Oh,
watch
yeah.
Rocky, man. It's the original true underdog story, man.
It really is, and like
I know a lot of people's favorite is Rocky 2. The first Rocky's my favorite.
Oh yeah, Rocky. The first Rocky's better than the second one.
I obviously I like this movie a lot. Yeah, like you said, a true underdog story,
Mhm.
which everybody loves. This kind of guy on his last legs. He's out of luck, and just the kind of way he perseveres. And what I really like, even more than the movie, is kind of the true story behind it. Sylvester Stallone, how he basically held on to the script.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he held on to the script. I think it was close to a decade.
Mhm.
Like he wrote it like in the early '70s and held on to it until
Was this before or during
The
the
Italian
porn?
style.
Uh,
The porn days.
I think it was during. But yeah, doing stuff like that, and then he sold his dog for like
Yeah.
$50 because he couldn't afford
Oh,
groceries
man.
or something,
That
or whatever
sucks.
it was, whatever the amount
That
was,
sucks.
or to keep the lights on. But and
I
then.
wonder if that's what inspired Butt Kiss.
But
Could be.
yeah, man. I mean, this movie has obviously spawned.
I wonder if he bought that
What,
dog after
6 years?
he made that movie.
Well, there's
Back.
the Creed movies.
there's
The Creed
Yeah.
movies.
there's 6 Rockies and
Fantastic.
2 Creeds.
Yeah.
Creed
The
movies.
fifth one is the horrible.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
bad.
Horrible.
It's
I've never
it
seen
really,
the
It's
fifth
bad.
one.
Don't.
You don't.
That's one of the worst.
It's
It's one of the worst things.
I'm not a big fan of Rocky Balboa either.
It was okay.
It's
It wasn't
okay.
great, but the Creed movies.
But I
were
mean, compared
really
to the
good.
first 4,
Yeah.
Well, I don't really. I think
The fourth one's my favorite.
with
Dolph
Ivan
Ivan
Drago.
Drago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Third one's really bad. The one with Mr. T is not very good.
I'd
talking
say so.
about?
I'd say.
Clubber Lang?
Yeah, I like
I
the one
didn't
with
know.
I like the one with Clubber
I
Lang.
didn't
No, I
know.
like it. I really like it, but I think out of the first 4, I
Four,
think
that's my least favorite out of the first
favorite.
4, but that I'm not saying I
Right.
didn't like. I like it.
No, it was. Yeah, it just wasn't as good as the other ones. That's definitely the first 2 at that point.
Give me a thumbs up.
No, go ahead. We can edit this out. That's good.
Animals.
And go. So that's number 9, Rocky. All right. What is your?
Number 8.
Are we on number 8?
Yeah,
Okay,
because my
that
number
was
8
my-
was
Rocky.
Oh, you're right. You're right. You're
That was
right.
my number 9 also.
My number 8 is Gladiator.
Whew,
Russell
that
Crowe.
narrowly missed the cut on my
Yeah,
list.
that was my honorable mention. So if there was a top 11, it would have been 11th.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great story. I mean, with just the way with Joaquin Phoenix's character. in that.
Commodus.
Yeah. It was just.
He played a really good
He
creepy guy.
really-
He was really
he
creepy
really
with
did.
his sister,
I don't
man.
know. Yeah. I don't know if he brought that into from his personal.
I hope he didn't bring that shit in from his personal life.
Yeah. The reason this didn't make any on any list is I've never seen this movie.
What?
You've
I've
never
never-
seen Gladiator.
I've never seen more than.
I do not entertain.
Oh my god.
I mean, I know the meme. I've never seen the
You
movie.
started it.
I've never seen more than probably the first 10 minutes of this movie.
Watch it, man. Do yourself a
Yeah.
favor.
Yeah, it's so
I think
good.
it's on Netflix.
It'll make it on your list.
Actually, they said that in real history that Commodus was actually one of the best Caesars of Rome.
Really.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, dude, I love Gladiator, man. Like the fight choreography. I think for that time that it came out was probably the best fight choreography that had ever been done.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
say
There's just so many good fights in that
Yeah.
movie.
Wasn't that 2000?
I think it was
2001.
around 2000.
You got the fight with like the
I have
tigers.
it. 2001.
2001.
But yeah, you got like the fight with the tigers, the fight where he like takes command of all the gladiators and like rewrites the historic battle where they were supposed to lose, but
Right.
like he ends up winning in the arena.
Don't spoil it for Josh. You ain't seen it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it was really good.
What is your number 8?
Number 8, Hurt Locker.
Good one.
Yeah, that's Jeremy Renner, which is probably the first thing I saw from him that was not
hmm
like, because he wasn't very big before Avengers, I don't think.
He was in the movie SWAT.
And I also saw him in that episode of House. That was probably the first thing I ever saw him in.
He was an episode of House.
He was a drug addicted rocker.
That's
I think.
that's his look.
Yeah.
But
But
He has
yeah,
a band too. Like,
yeah. He was
um,
fucking water, man.
but yeah, it takes place during the Iraq War, and it's about this dude who's pretty much just kind of like addicted to being in war and being into like high stress situations.
He's addicted to the adrenaline rush.
Yeah, he's addicted to the adrenaline rush. It's
He-
about his story.
He disarms bombs.
Yeah, he's an EMD specialist. And it's about his a tour that he does. I think it's like a little over a month or something. And like the stakes, like each set piece kind of gets ratcheted up in tension, all the way up to the end, the big grand finale. I won't give it.
And it's
away.
about like just like camaraderie and brotherhood between like the 3 people in the bomb disarming squad.
Yeah, it is. It's a really cool movie. Like
And
I
it was,
said, Jeremy Renner.
Yeah, James Cameron's wife won best. Picture.
Catherine Bigelow.
Did she win best director too?
I'm not sure.
I don't remember honestly.
Because that was the same year that Avatar came out, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And they were like head to head,
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She might have won best director. I can't say for sure though.
I feel like
Was
she
it
was like
Catherine Bigelow who directed Hurt Locker, or
Mhm.
did she do Zero Dark 30?
Ooh, you might be right.
She did Hurt Locker for sure. I know that.
Okay. She might
Because it was
just
like a
stand
big
up
deal.
for it.
It was like, them going head to head.
But yeah,
But,
it's a really, really good movie.
I don't know. I think she might have been like the only female director to win Best Director ever. But don't quote me on that.
What is your number 8?
I already did 8. It was Rocky.
Oh,
What's your
My-
number 8?
my number 8 is Rain Man.
Rain Man.
I,
Never seen her in Man.
Love this
Um,
movie.
It was a good movie.
Tom Cruise, Dustin Hoffman. He won best actor this year or that year.
Anybody
I know,
who plays
that
a mentally handicapped
I
person
know.
wins
No, I
Best
know.
Actor
But he really did a
More
good
often
job.
than not.
or like Best
Yeah.
Supporting Actor. It's a
I know.
you got
It was that line always reminds me of Tropic Thunder,
Which one?
where Robert Downey Jr. says, "You never go."
Man, that's a movie that cannot be made in 2020.
No.
That's for sure.
No.
The blackface and
Yeah.
everything else, Jesus. But yeah, man, Rain Man's a good movie. It's about I don't know what I don't know if he was a lawyer or maybe he
I've
was
only
like
seen parts of it, so I'm not
Tom
too
Cruise
sure.
plays like this yuppie. He's basically like a wealthy.
Like
He might be
isn't
like
he
a stockbroker,
stockbroker
stockbroker
type
or
thing?
lawyer. But he turns out that he has this brother played by Dustin Hoffman who has I don't remember what the exact condition is.
It's probably like autism.
It's-
I think it's
something
autism.
yeah.
He's a savant.
Yeah, exactly. But basically go on a cross country road trip together.
Just like bankrupting casinos, right?
Well, no,
I'm not bankrupting them, but
no,
they
but
count cards.
Well,
He does.
He Dustin Hoffman couldn't fly.
right.
They tried to fly,
No.
so
And he
they
got
had to go
freaked
back.
out.
Yeah, so they had to drive all the way back to where.
When
his
when
state
Tom
was.
Cruise finds out that he is a savant, then he takes advantage of Dustin
I
Hoffman
see.
and tries to get him to
That's his brother, right? He doesn't
Yes.
already know this stuff. That
He
he's-
does.
That he's autistic or whatever.
Well, he
Or he just doesn't know that he's super smart.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, and so it turns from like he's basically taking advantage of his brother to get rich or like make money
Mm-hmm.
to him like actually caring
Right.
about the well-being of his brother and everything like that. It was a really good movie. Obviously, Dustin Hoffman, great performance. Even Tom Cruise turned in a really good performance. I watched it a couple years back.
I actually watched a documentary about the real savant that Dustin Hoffman's character was based off of.
Bro, I've not seen that.
Did he also count cards?
I mean, he could, but he didn't.
But yeah, what show was it? There was a show that his character always had to watch. I think it was People's Court, or no, it wasn't
I
Judge
don't
Judy.
know.
There wasn't Judge Judy back then. I think it was People's Court, where he had to carry a notebook, and every day at 5:30 or whatever it was, he had to be in front of a TV to like write down the names of like the plaintiff and the defendant and the outcome of the verdict.
Some people do that and they're not even.
Yeah.
But
Just
Oh, speaking of like the
I
real life
enjoy it.
savant, has nothing to do with anything that we were talking about, but it was just really cool that you could do it. You could like they were like doing it. He was like in this big auditorium giving like a speech, and then
Who?
the real life savant that was
Oh.
based off of. And if you went up to him and told him your birthday and birth year, he could tell you what day of the week
what
it was.
day of the week it was? Yeah, he could count back that fast.
Jeez.
So, yeah, I just don't know. It's crazy how little we know about like the human mind and like how it functions and operates, and just it's
Yeah, have you ever seen
Weird.
those documentaries about the learned savants who suffer brain trauma and then afterwards are like super smart?
Yeah, dude, I've seen people like they get into a coma, they wake up and they
Mhm.
can like speak fluently in like other languages.
it's just weird how the mind
Who
works.
knows?
We know so little about it. Anyway, number 8, Rain Man. Check it out. It's a good movie, great movie.
Number 7, Lord of the Rings: Return of the King.
Lame.
and that is also my number 7.
It's my favorite of the trilogy.
I would say that's my favorite.
It's either that or Fellowship of the Ring.
Wait, that's you're number 7,
Mhm.
and you're number 7.
It's that or Fellowship of the Ring. The reason I like Fellowship of the Ring a lot is because they're all together, but the reason I like Return of the King is because
Epic.
the battles are just
Just
way more
Yeah, the
epic.
battle's epic, but I don't. It's hard for me to line up on which one's my favorite because I love Two Towers too.
I mean, they're all great.
Yeah,
It's hard to choose.
but
They are.
but the
I'm just
the
kidding.
thing, like the
Return of the King's on my list.
I know.
So that means it's even higher than ours.
Yeah, exactly.
Like one of my favorite scenes is when the Battle of Minas Tirith, when Theoden and the Rohirrians, Rohirrim, they like ride down and like.
Oh yeah, that's the most epic part of the movie.
And then after like they like get the upper hand, you hear the horns from like the mercenaries on the Oliphants, those like
Yeah.
freaky ass horns.
Yeah, dude.
And then you're just like, oh my god, they're
Is that the
fun.
one where doesn't like one of the fucking hobbits sing or something? Is that Return of the King?
Pippin.
Yeah, that's Return of the King, but that's when they go into Osgiliath.
I
And
don't like
6
that
degrees
scene.
of separation here.
Yeah, I can live without it.
Carl Urban was also in this movie.
Yeah.
Keith Urban's brother.
Right.
But,
Both
yeah.
from Australia.
I can't remember, but the Pippin's actor, he's actually in a band in real life.
Yes, he is.
Interesting.
Yeah.
He seems.
was
Does he
also
sing
in
in Lost too?
No, that's
No.
not Pippin.
That's the other one. That's
Oh,
Mary.
I can't remember.
That's
In Lo-
Dominique.
in
Dominique
Lost?
something.
I haven't seen
Mine.
Lost in so long.
No, that's not.
Dominic Monaghan.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't seen Lost in forever. But yeah, just the battles in Return of the King and the conclusion to the story.
Yeah.
There's like 7 different endings. The movie just fucking kept going.
Yeah, I mean, it dragged on. But I mean, that's how the book went, so, you know.
No, I get it. It was just
I think if you would have deviated from the book, fans would have just been pissed.
Yeah.
fucking.
You know.
They would.
I mean, people would have been kind of upset either way, but it would have been worse if he changed it up from the books.
All right. What is your number 7?
The King's Speech.
I missed my list. Just
I freaking love this movie.
Yeah.
Even Chase points it out that Colin Firth and Helen Bonham Carter.
I haven't watched it.
It's on Netflix, and Chase gets mad at me because every time we're on Netflix, and I always have to stop and like watch it for like a split second. You know how like previews the movie. So
Yeah,
I
because
really-
he never wants to, like, he never, like, actually clicks on it. He just watches, like, the little trailer on Netflix and then he keeps going. I'm like, dude, you've seen the movie.
I mean, I really like it. It's like kind of another. Even though he's king, it's kind of like another underdog story.
right,
kind
him
of, because he has a
overcoming
speech impediment.
And he
It's
wasn't
double-
supposed to be king.
Yeah, it's a double meaning because like he has to do a big speech at the end of the movie,
Right.
and it's also he has a speech impediment, and the whole movie is him like trying to overcome his speech impediment.
And it's to rally the country because they're in the middle of World War II, and so
Right.
it tried to keep morale high. They need to hear from the king.
And he doesn't talk very often.
Yeah, because he has such a bad, just like, stutter.
Right.
Yeah, so it's like one of those like feel good movies, but it's like another historical period movie, which like I said, I really like.
Yeah, you
period
guys like
movies.
the historical movies.
hmm
Yes,
I actually heard like snippets of his his actual speeches, and like you could hear like the pauses and stuff. Like
Right.
you could hear him like fighting the stutter in real life, and I thought it was cool because I never would have noticed that if it wasn't for the King's Speech.
Mhm.
Because I mean, I didn't know like that part about him before.
So good movie.
All right. What is your number 7? Or is it Lord of the Rings? Wait,
Mine was Lord of the Rings.
what was your
Yeah.
number 7?
The Lord of the Rings. So
Oh, okay. Mine is Platoon.
I like Platoon. Maybe it's because I watched it when I was in like a Vietnam phase. So the movie I watched right before it was Apocalypse Now, and I didn't think it quite added up to it. I don't know.
I don't like Apocalypse.
I
Now.
love Apocalypse Now.
I don't like it.
But-
I mean, it's fine. It's not. I don't think it's like this end-all, be-all movie that a lot of people think it or believe it to be. But I really like Platoon.
any war movie like that,
That's Oliver Stone, right?
Yeah. Apocalypse Now was Francis Ford Coppola.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of. It was the first movie that I remember, and obviously Saving Private Ryan didn't win Best Picture the year it came out.
Oh, if it did, that would have made my list.
Yeah.
I love Saving Private Ryan.
But
Probably
it was
seen that at least,
it
like,
really
50
was. It gave you like the bigger scale battles. I mean, not obviously on the level of a Saving Private Ryan.
Well, it's the Vietnam War.
Right. But it also gave you kind of like the quieter moments, but even kind of like the personal fucked up things that
Mm-hmm.
American soldiers did that you would imagine.
One thing that like really rubbed me the wrong way, like in the movie. Not because of like it was just like I didn't think it was just because it was just so unrealistic to me. Was when he was like, "Dance, motherfucker, dance," and then he's like shooting at the dude who's like hopping on one leg. I'm like, come on now, like.
But you never know, man. I mean, you hear like stories of
you
like
never know.
you hear stories about like
Maybe it was just the way Charlie Sheen acted it.
yeah.
Because it
It
didn't seem.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
I'm
it was-
sure
it
shit
was
like
like-
that happened.
Yeah, but like it was just the way.
overacted. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It was
it was
like-
overacted.
Yeah, it was a little over the top.
But yeah, just like yeah, exactly. That seems a perfect example of just like
Maybe he thought he was shooting hot shots.
Sets are right next to each other.
But yeah, just like kind of the fucked up things that what war does to people, and you kind of you see that side that's not you're not a war hero. You're not. It's not that that glamour and not what I mean. Where
But harkening back to what we were talking about, Hurt Locker, that's one of the reasons why I liked Hurt Locker, because it was like the other side of that coin. Because there are people who are like addicted to war, like
Right.
the adrenaline
Mhm.
rush and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
but yeah, number 7, Platoon. I haven't seen it in probably 10 or even probably 15 years, but it was always
I haven't
one
watched it all the way through.
it's one that always stuck out to me. It's also got William Dafoe in it, and
I like William Dafoe.
Isn't it Willem?
Willem Dafoe, and fuck, there's another big actor. I can't remember.
Martin Sheen.
Martin Sheen's not in it, is he?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure.
I know he's in Apocalypse Now.
Maybe yeah, I think you're thinking
Maybe.
of Apocalypse. Yeah, but anyway, so it's really good. If you want to see kind of a war movie from a different era, that's not all just like bombastic and just sensory overload. Check it out, because I'd venture to guess that that's probably his best, and I mean Sheen's best performance. Period. So.
I think so. But then again, I've never watched 2.5 Men.
All right. Did you go with number 7 yet?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
King's Speech.
Okay, you're number 6 then.
My number 6 is Hurt Locker. For everything we've already said, and for what I just said. Yeah.
All right. My number 6 is Schindler's List. I've only seen this movie all the way
Just going with
through.
sad news, man.
I've only seen this movie all the way through twice. It is, profoundly just fucking depressing and sad, but it is
Yeah,
such
it's
a
really
good
good
movie.
movie.
It's
I
almost made it on my list.
I love that it's shot in black and white, except for the little girl's red dress. It just it makes that like the scene where he sees her for the first time, and then the second time like a lot more powerful.
Yeah, I agree. Man, this movie, it's got a very young, Jesus Christ.
Very young Jesus Christ.
Say that around the Nazis.
Why am I blanking on his name?
Are you talking about?
Liam Neeson?
Yeah, Liam
Yes.
Neeson.
Oh my God, I was picturing his face. I was like, I just drew a blank.
I thought you were talking about the guy who played Voldemort.
That's Ralph.
Rafe Fiennes.
Yeah,
Ralph.
Rafe. It's pronounced Rafe.
Ralph.
It's pronounced Rafe.
I've been saying Ralph my whole life. I'm not changing.
Also, I
Where's
think
he
it-
from? If that's how you pronounce it.
French or some shit or German or something. I don't
He
know.
was the perfect Nazi.
but I also love that it's just like it's crazy that it actually happened. Like
Yeah,
that's what
man,
really
that's-
happened.
Yeah, I mean, this businessman. Was he? I can't remember. He was a store owner, or like a merchant. or
Yeah,
something.
he had like a big company.
Yeah,
like
he-
a big business.
But yeah, I mean, he had this this list of
I
people
think
that
he
he
was
wanted
like
to save, and I
like
think it was
a-
4 or 5.
Owned like a steel factory, right?
Something,
Or like
yeah.
something like that.
like a foundry or something.
But yeah, I mean, just the true story behind it. But it was just so well done. It was, obviously, like you said, the big thing that a lot of people remember about it is black and white, except for the girl's red coat or red dress. But yeah, it was just fucking.
Yeah, it's really good.
God, the movie is it's unbelievable.
It's very intense. So like,
That's the thing.
you kind of have to like
you have to
be
be in a
prepared to
mood.
watch it. Like,
Yeah, you have to be in a mood for it, which is probably
there's some
almost
fucked up shit in that movie.
yeah. Man,
I heard like the Rolf.
Rafe.
Rolf. But I
Goes
heard
from
like the
Ralph to
character that
Ready for
he's
Rolf.
based on, the German dude, was like way worse than what they
Mhm.
portrayed in the movie.
Yeah,
Like,
there's
they
like
dumbed it down big time.
there's a
for the
lot of like
movie.
fucked up shit that the
Yeah,
Nazis did.
it's crazy.
But anyway, yeah, man, I don't know what else to say about it. If you haven't seen it and you want like a different type of war movie, even different than
I think that
Platoon.
was Steven Spielberg's grandparents or something like that, right?
Mhm.
It was based on
Yeah.
or their
Mhm.
experiences or something.
I don't know if I'd really call it a war movie. It's
I mean,
it's a
not
it
like- yeah,
takes
that's
place in a war like a war
Yeah,
setting.
that's what I mean. It's not like a war movie, but yeah, it's like about World War II.
Backdrop.
Yeah,
backdrop.
exactly. But yeah, something that's different than a war movie, I guess I should say. Yeah, man, it's I think it's one of the rare movies, even more than the other movies on this list. It's one of the rare movies that I think everybody should watch at least once. But anyway, so all right, what is your number 6?
My number 6 is The Titanic.
Titanic.
It's just Titanic. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I love Titanic.
Yeah, I mean, the way I put my list together is
How many times you cried during the
that, but no, just like if I saw it on playing on one of the channels, I would stop
Instead
and
of
watch it.
It's
No,
like you
that's-
gotta
yeah.
see it.
It was a
Exactly.
sad day when they took it off of Netflix a few years back.
They kept playing with us because they'd take it off and they'd put it back on and then they'd take it off again.
The cool thing about the Titanic, because it's on my list also.
It's just Titanic.
Listen to this guy. He knows Titanic.
The thing about Titanic is, it really is. It's like it's a really great, obviously, like love story and that type of movie. But it's also
It's a disaster.
it's also a really
Yeah.
great disaster movie. And the way that
Yeah.
James Cameron was able to do both,
Mhm.
and obviously towards the end, kind of mix the two. It was really cool because you take.
That's why he's James Cameron.
He's
everything he touches turns to
got
gold.
two of the three
Yeah.
highest grossing
Yeah.
movies. of all
Titanic
time.
Everything
gets like a
touched turns to
bad rap
diamond.
as like a girly.
Well, now it's like
It's-
meme to death, and
Right.
yeah, but it
But
really
it's,
is a good
it's a
movie.
great.
Yeah, it's
movie.
not. It's not
Also,
just
I want
a
to say
romantic-
something
Exactly.
for everybody who's like, "Oh, they both could fit on it." Yes, they both could fit on it, but that doesn't mean it's buoyant enough
Yeah.
to keep them afloat.
Right.
They both would have
They
been.
tried.
They both would have been part in water, and then they both would have froze to death.
They both could have fit.
Yeah, I didn't say they couldn't, but it doesn't mean that it would have stayed on top of the water. It would have.
It would have.
No, it wouldn't
It
have.
would've.
It wouldn't have.
It would have.
It wouldn't have. I don't
They
think you know
would've
how
said-
buoyancy works.
I think this is the movie where I found Leonardo DiCaprio as a legit actor.
Yeah, it was
I
the
really
first
like-
movie I ever saw with him.
I remember seeing him in What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Yeah,
I went
Yeah.
back and watched that, and I was like, "Man, he's great." You think he actually has a
Yeah,
disability?
you think he was actually mentally handicapped.
Yeah.
I almost said the R word.
Yeah, let's not do that.
I think the first acting scene I've seen him in one is in the show Growing Pains.
Oh yeah,
my
for
God,
sure.
yeah,
I thought you were going to say like Gremlins. Wasn't he in like Gremlins 2 or something?
Yeah, I think he was, but and he was also in another movie when he was real little with was it De Niro?
Oh yeah, I watched that movie.
Boys.
I can't remember, but it's
Dream or
about
something.
like De Niro plays his dad and he's drunk and abusive and stuff like
He was
that.
good in that movie too.
But yeah,
Oh, and I think who's an unsung hero of Titanic is Billy Zane.
Zane,
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
I think he plays such a great villain in
I
that
don't know
you
why
know,
movie.
there's
never
a
got bigger roles.
there's a honest to God Facebook group called the Zaniacs, where
I'm
it's just a
joining.
It's just a Billy Zane fan club.
I think he just got rolled into the. Oh, he's just a model turned actor.
Oh, he was
Yeah.
a model.
Yeah.
That
But
surprised me.
I thought he was great, and
Yeah.
I think
He's a
I
great
thought he was
antagonist.
funny. I thought he was funny because like he's just like
He's
a big smart ass.
ass.
Like when he's like talking to his cop friend, I can't remember his name,
Right.
and he's like, I couldn't find him. He's like, well, it's a boat. There's only so many places they could be.
Yeah, I mean he does. He plays a great just like asshole that you.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And I liked him in Tombstone also.
and then Zoolander.
He was in Zoolander. I forgot.
But yeah, feel free to join the Zaniacs.
I just might. He's the unsung hero of that movie.
But yeah, I mean, it
Yeah,
really
he did
put
a good job.
it put obviously Leonardo DiCaprio on the map as far as like a huge actor, teen heartthrob. You know, late '90s, '97. This movie came out. Kate Winslet.
She was like 17, dude. I thought she was like in her 20s.
No,
Yeah.
she was 19 and he was 17.
Yeah. She looks older in that movie than 19.
yeah, she does.
I always,
She
thought, I
looks
always thought she was older.
She looks good in that movie, is what you mean.
Yes.
And we get to see her naked.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think she still looks good.
She does.
She's aged very well.
But yeah, great movie all around. Obviously the third best, I guess now.
Yeah, third now.
Grossing movie of all time.
Mhm.
All right, what is your number
He's
5?
6, right?
Or wait,
6?
Yeah, sorry. What is your 6?
The Departed.
Wow, that's pretty low.
Dude, this is a rough list for me to put
I
together.
guess so.
It's
We
just
putting
it's just Departed.
Braveheart and the Departed. Say it,
Which
Josh.
is say it with the Russian.
What was it now? I want my bud. No, I gotta work on it.
Yeah, you think about that one.
do the Boston.
No, what does Matt Damon say?
He
says a lot.
No. There's one specific line where he's talking to
He has like 30 pages of
because
dialogue.
he's the cop in that, right?
Yeah, that's,
You know, he's a
Yeah.
cop, but he's a rat.
oh,
No, he's talking about he's talking to the firefighters. What does he say? Fucking quiz.
Yeah,
He's like he's talking to the fire. He's like, you fucking quiz. Why don't you
because they lost in rugby
yeah,
or something, or football or something.
rescue a cat out of a tree? I can't
Yeah.
say it with an accent, but yeah, something like that.
But yeah, that's my favorite Scorsese movie, even above Goodfellas, which used to be my favorite Scorsese movie.
Wait, was that your number 6?
That's my number 6.
yeah.
So it's got Leonardo DiCaprio, star-studded cast. Leonardo
Yeah.
DiCaprio, Matt Damon, Mark Wahlberg,
Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin, the best Baldwin, as I call him.
Yeah.
No,
I was going to argue
Yeah,
that.
I don't think
Stephen Baldwin.
I don't think there's many people claim
I
that.
don't know, guys.
That one chick, Vera Farmiga.
That was like the first thing I remember seeing. Her.
right.
Lots of great actors, and I know it's a remake of I think it's a Chinese movie or maybe a
I don't know that.
Indonesian or like Malaysian or something like
yeah,
that. Some Southeast
like
Asian movie.
not hard boiled.
I don't know.
I don't remember. But yeah,
But they all give like performances of a lifetime in that
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
dude. And
It's like being with each other like made them like bring up their ego. What do you?
Jack Nicholson, of course.
Oh,
Forgot
yeah.
that he was.
I said Jack Nicholson.
Oh, you did? Okay, yeah. He was great in that movie.
No, it's a
He's
good
always
movie.
a
I think it's a
Yeah.
little overrated. I
Yeah.
really do.
man.
I do think it's a little overrated.
No, not at all.
I think
If
that
you like crime movies, crime noir,
it's a good movie. It's even a great movie, but I don't think it's like this. Yeah, I just don't think it's. I don't even think it's like top 3 Scorsese.
What would you put above it?
I mean, he does have some great
He
movies.
does,
But
yeah.
for me personally, it's my favorite.
It's like that. Goodfellas.
Yeah, like Raging Bull.
I liked Raging Bull.
But it's a good movie. I just
Passionate or not passionate.
Martin Scorsese's Passion of the Christ.
yeah, it was with Willem Dafoe.
Yeah. Funny story about that movie.
It's
in
not
Willem
Jesus
Dafoe.
Christ Superstar.
No.
Dude, Willem Dafoe plays Jesus.
Yeah, I know, but
I'm gonna look it
I know the movie. I can't think of the name, but there's like a thing about like Willem Dafoe on the set of that movie when he's like up on the crucifix, and they said that he was so well hung that the head stuck out of the bottom of the loincloth
Wow.
on set. Yeah.
Willem.
Last Temptation of Christ.
Last Temptation of Christ. Okay.
No, but
But
just
yeah,
looking at
that-
this, I mean,
Aviator.
I really liked
Me
Aviator.
too.
Cape Fear with Robert De Niro, I really liked. Raging Bull, I really liked.
I always get Cape Fear.
Gangs
and
of
the
New
original
York, I
stuff.
think, is like really underrated.
What?
Gangs of New York with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Dude, I've tried watching it. It's not that I don't want to watch it. It's just I always catch it.
Casino is
Here and
really
there.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Casino's
Casino.
really
I tell you
good.
what, though,
I was
don't
at
know,
Casino.
I don't know if it's
so-
because I was in sales for 5 years, but I really, really, really have a soft spot for Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh yeah,
I
that's
really
probably like my
Wolf of
third. I
Wall Street,
love Wolf of Wall
Fucking
Street.
love that movie.
Dude, that's that's up there. That might be one or two, but
If it won Best Picture, it'd be on my list.
yeah.
But
It's
anyway,
fucking hilarious.
yeah,
So
Departed.
yeah,
Departed's really
Departed.
good. All right, what's your number 5?
Number 5, Braveheart.
Which is also my number 5.
Did you
Jesus.
steal my
Feeding
list?
off each other, man.
I think you looked at my list because I typed this at work.
Hacked into your computer.
I know.
All right, so we'll skip over not skip, but unless you guys want to add any new points.
No.
Braveheart.
All right, my number 5 is Return of the King.
Why though?
Yeah, I know, right?
I don't know what it is. I like to give
Yeah.
everybody shit for liking this movie. I think it's just because the truth is I really like these movies. Yeah, this one's really good, minus the singing scene. I just find that very... That's the only...
I don't mind it.
I
That's
like
the
it, but
only
it
thing-
is melodramatic.
It's like
and-
super dramatic.
Yeah.
Like even... I don't know. But anyway, regardless, it was a great movie. I think it still holds the record for most Oscars in a year.
Yeah,
It tied.
It's
Yeah.
tied with Titanic.
Mhm.
Oh, is it? Okay.
11, I think.
Yeah, I mean, great movie all around. Obviously, Peter Jackson was at the top of his game. We won't
I wonder what he's up to, man.
we won't talk about
Spending his millions.
King Kong and the
I like
Hopkins.
King
I
Kong.
love King
I think it's
Kong.
way better than Kong Island.
Yeah.
Crazy. I don't know.
It's
about
probably tied.
No, it's better.
No.
that.
I loved Peter
And
Jackson's
Jack
King
Black,
Kong.
I think he gave like his best performance ever in King Kong.
Well, I like Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah.
I like Tom Hiddleston.
But yeah, so I don't want to add too much more to that. It's a really good movie. I enjoyed it quite a bit. All right, what's your number
Yeah. What is your
5,
number
right?
5?
5?
That was same as Braveheart.
Oh, Braveheart. Oh, that's right. What's your number 5?
Me? Annie Hall,
Annie Hall.
which I think we talked about.
Yeah, we did. That
I, don't
was.
know, I think that might be the only comedy movie I have on here.
Yeah, I think that's
Maybe.
I don't have any comedy.
Yeah.
That's the only.
It has to be
comedy
a
on mine.
really good comedy for me to consider it on this list. I guess it has to be a really good comedy for it to win Best Picture too.
Oh,
Mhm.
Yeah,
Alright.
they don't give those away.
No.
What is your number 4?
Yeah, what's your number 4?
My number 4, and I just want to say for like my top 4, any one of them could be number 1, but there could only be one number 1. So, but my number 4 is Forrest Gump.
Okay. Making sure.
I
fucking love this movie. I've seen it at least like 50 times.
Oh, at least.
I've only seen it once all the way through.
What the fuck?
What is wrong with you?
I'm speechless personally.
I guess
That
Forrest
was
Gump
good.
could be considered a comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like an everything movie.
Yeah.
It's like an adventure movie, because it goes through all these different stages:
You can't go wrong with Tom
drama,
Hanks.
comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Tom Hanks.
He's one of my favorite actors.
Yeah.
He does it all. Comedy,
Comedy,
drama.
dramas, everything. Character, bios. Mm.
I met him once at Wright State when he
Yeah.
did
Is he doing some nice
the
speech?
dedication for the
Yeah, for
film,
the
whatever
theater.
film. Yeah, he was
Section.
there. Yeah, Stephanie was able to get. She was a Wright State employee at the time, but she was able to get me in there.
But,
Really nice guy. I mean, I literally said hi. I'm a huge fan. And,
I mean, he just
Super
seems like the most
Yeah.
But he
wholesome
was-
person on the planet.
but
Yeah.
he
How
was
tall
always.
is he?
Mr. Rogers.
Is he a tall dude?
He's
He's
probably
like 6'1".
no, he's not that tall. I'd say he's
Six.
dad's height, maybe 5'9", 5'10".
Really?
Yeah.
I always thought he was taller.
Those actors are not that tall.
They look tall on
They
TV.
do. Jeremy Renner is like 5'7".
But yeah, I mean, super nice guy. I mean, again, he was like, oh, thanks for being a fan, blah, blah, blah. Like, it was, all, like, PR or
Business
whatever.
as
Yeah,
usual.
but it was, he was,
But yeah,
I just hope his son like follows in his footsteps. And
which one, the rapper or Colin?
No, Colin. Colin.
But no matter how many times I've watched Forrest Gump, and that goes for like pretty much every movie on my list, I never get tired of it.
Oh no.
It's just, I don't know. There's not one specific thing I can like say about it, but it's just like everything about
It's a
it.
feel-good movie. It makes
It
you
is.
feel
is
good.
that Zemeckis? Robert
Mhm.
Zemeckis? Yeah.
Yeah, his best movie by far, I think. Oh no, Glory was really good.
Glory was really good.
That's
I
the one
I
movie.
think Forrest Gump is better than
Yeah.
Glory.
I think Forrest Gump is better too, but Glory was really good.
Did he also do, Zemeckis, didn't he do the one about the pilot recently? Like within the last 5 or 6 years?
Flight? with Denzel Washington.
was that him?
that was a really good movie.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
I haven't seen that.
That was good.
I haven't seen that. I've seen the one where Tom Hanks plays
Who's
Sully.
the one where?
Is it called Sully?
Who directed that one?
Sully.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Is it like Ron Howard
Yes,
Yeah,
I think
maybe.
it was.
I have no idea.
or Clint Eastwood?
No.
I don't think it was.
I think it was Clint Eastwood. But Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just so many iconic scenes, and it's
Oh,
I love how he's like a part of so many iconic.
It was Robert Zemeckis. Wait, Flight? No, we weren't talking about Flight.
We're talking about
Sully.
Sorry.
But I love how he's like they just like weave him into like so many like historic moments and like
You're right, Clint Eastwood.
so many historic moments in like
Just
the
American
20th
history.
century.
It
and,
is
like,
a very creative movie in that
Mhm.
way.
And
Yeah.
I think it's like the first time in the movie where they superimpose him in historic.
Like JFK.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I met the president of the United
It's
States
crazy.
again.
It's crazy they did that in like '94.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That tech.
It was
it looked
it's a
very
very
good.
creative movie. I think if I would have seen it, not that you have to see a movie more than once to like have it on it, to recognize it for anything, but yeah, I mean, I haven't seen it probably since I was in high school, maybe a little after. Like
Every time I've like seen it on TV, I'm like, oh, I know what I'm
Yeah.
watching. Or like on Netflix or something, I'm like, I guess
Yeah, I mean,
I'll
it's
watch Forrest Gump.
Yeah, it's like that movie that doesn't have a spot where you can just step away from it. And
There's always
There's-
something going
Mhm.
on.
yeah, it's something you have to watch like every minute of it.
And
It's always
you
interesting.
always you root for Forrest.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
he's the underdog. No matter what he's accomplished, he's always the underdog because
Right.
like he's always he's oblivious to everything he does.
He doesn't see the bad in anything.
No.
He's just a
yeah,
guy.
he's just
the best
oblivious
guy.
and
I think it's Tom Hanks, documentary.
Might be.
My number 4 is The Godfather. I debated whether it was going to be the first one or the second one. I probably could have put both on here.
I think the first one's better.
See,
I love the second one.
I think it is too, but a lot of people, I think most people think the second one's better.
I love the second one, but I think the first one's better.
But man, I mean, what else is there to say about this? Basically, this movie created an entire genre of just gangster mob movies.
Yeah.
And just the way it was done, it hadn't really been done like that before. Like
Yeah. I mean,
how they ratchet up the tension with the
Mhm.
music
Mhm.
and
I love everything about that movie.
the first
the
two are great. The
acting-
third one's, I mean, you can.
well, you can
This-
blame that on
this-
Sofia Coppola.
Yeah, the score is amazing.
Yeah.
The way it was shot, just like the way they just you're always on edge. You always find your heart racing.
Yeah, I mean, this movie is perfect from front to back. There's not a wasted moment. There's not a wasted shot. Yeah, all the performances, top to bottom, are great. You really
It was,
believe these characters, and as far as what they're, what they're struggling with
Mhm.
within the movie, and how they make it. They're a lot of the time they're doing awful shit, but you're almost empathetic to what they're doing, and it's very,
Yeah.
it's a very gray area. It's not all black and white that you would imagine when you're talking about the mafia and the mob and stuff. But
I want them to make another Mafia game set in that time period.
did you play Mafia 3?
No, I heard it sucked.
Yeah, it was okay.
I heard it's just buggy.
It was super buggy. The story was
Yeah.
kind of cool. It was black guy.
Yeah.
The,
New Orleans.
I think
Yeah.
Fictional
if you're gonna
ones.
play something like that, play L.A. New Orleans.
yeah, that was good. I
I
liked
never
that.
played it. Always wanted to though.
It was good. I liked
But,
it.
Yeah, The Godfather. I didn't see it for the first time until maybe 5-6 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and with all those old classic movies, always go in and then sometimes they don't live up to the hype that I've heard, or
Right.
they meet the expectations, but The Godfather exceeded the expectations
It's
that
a
I had
great
going
movie.
in.
Super. I mean, it really, obviously, it's one of the great movies of all time.
Yeah, I love The Godfather. Watching Al Pacino go from a civilian World War II veteran to becoming the Godfather.
Yeah.
It's a cool transformation to watch, and I think it's handled realistically and well.
Yeah. All right, what is your number 4?
My number 4 is Rocky.
Love Rocky.
Me too.
I like it because there's not a lot of boxing in it. You know what
Yeah,
I
it's
mean?
more about him.
Yeah, it's
I was
just
like,
like,
I
I
know
think it's just like
he has a set formula for each like Rocky
Mhm.
/ Creed movie he makes. It's like a third story, backstory. A middle third is training, and the last third is the boxing.
Fight. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a great formula. Yeah, I mean, it works. Anything else you want to add?
No,
Rocky? Okay. All right, what is your number 4?
A Beautiful Mind.
No,
Ron Howard, Russell Crowe, Jennifer Connelly,
Paul Bettany.
and Paul Bettany. I almost forgot his
Yeah.
name.
Can't forget about Paul Bettany. Man. He's a good actor.
I like him. Yeah, it's just a true story. I think it roughly based on John Nash. I don't think he had visual hallucinations as
No,
he
it
did
was
in the movie. It was more
he just had
audio.
auditory.
Yeah, just
hallucinations.
auditory hallucinations. But he's just like this super duper smart dude who's like loses touch with reality, and you know he thinks like the government's out to get him, and like he's just
And
a
that's
batshit
how,
crazy
that's
kind
how
of.
smart people are usually categorized as,
Yeah.
you know, paranoia like that.
Yeah, he's super paranoid, and you know it's just kind of like a redemption arc for him. The whole movie.
Who directed this one?
Ron Howard.
Ron Howard.
Yeah, it's another.
He's had a lot of good movies. He's had a couple misses too.
You always forget he was the dude in that
And,
show.
and,
Opie.
Yep.
and Happy
Yeah.
Days.
Yeah.
And Happy Days, yeah.
I've only seen it once.
Yeah. I've seen it probably like probably like 6 or 7 times. And I love it every time.
All right, what is your number 3?
Titanic.
Titanic.
Thank you for not calling it the Titanic.
What? What's wrong with that taste? Huh?
It's not
Is
the
there
name of
anything
the
else you'd like to add?
Huh?
Anything you want to add?
No, not really.
Yeah, there you go.
It's so good that it doesn't feel like you're sitting down for 3 hours watching a movie. I'll say
It
that.
really is a good
There's only
movie.
a few movies that do that. Wolf of Wall Street was another one that was like
Mhm.
super long, but it doesn't feel very long.
My number 3 is this year's winner, Parasite.
Haven't
That's
seen
it.
it.
Don't spoil it.
So I will
Yeah.
not spoil it for
I haven't
anybody
seen
else out
it,
there.
but after like all the awards and everything that it won, I definitely want to see
No,
it.
you got to rent it, Amazon. I watched it actually the night before the Oscars, so I watched it Saturday night. I was trying to, and I didn't get to all of them, but I was trying to watch like all the. I try to do that every year. I'd watch all the nominees.
I think that was the only Best Picture nominee that I haven't seen.
Yeah. Until I see it, I will be disappointed 1917 didn't win Best Picture. Because
That actually is the one that because I think I've seen all the other ones. 1917 I didn't see though. I didn't get to theaters, but
because I was preparing because I had my list, but I was like, all right, if 1917 wins Best Picture, I'm adding it to my list.
right. But Parasite, man, I'm not going to spoil it, but just kind of give you an overview. It's about like class relations in South Korea, and it just fucking takes.
Is it a
I
scary
heard
movie?
I heard it's like a dark comedy horror
It's
movie.
like it takes weird turns,
It's
man.
weird.
Like it's just fucking like it fucks with you the whole time
Good about coronavirus.
because he and so if you've seen the only thing I'll say is if you've seen the trailer, this is part of it. But basically, the general setup is that this person. They actually I don't even want to say it because I don't want to ruin it. But it's like this guy forges a document to make it look like he is a teacher, like an instructor, to basically get into the home of a wealthy person, and he's basically like from the slums or like from the poor part of town, and it's about class.
So he's a parasite, literally.
It's about class relations. So yeah, Parasite. After you see it, Parasite will mean a couple different things, but it's beautifully shot. Obviously, it's subtitled, but I mean, even though it's obviously not an English speaking movie, like you can tell the performances are there.
Mhm.
Like everything's really there.
I
Like,
don't mind subtitled movies.
oh, I don't either.
I mean,
but
I
it's
watch
like,
subtitled anime all the time.
but it's like, but like you know, the shots, the way, everything about it is just like it's so well done that I cannot believe how good this movie is. I don't want to go into any type of spoilers for when you guys see it, but when you do, let me know because I'd like to talk about it. But definitely put that at the top of your watch list. It really is a very, 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 very good movie. All right, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is The Departed.
Yeah.
It's a fucking
Good movie.
quiz.
What's the name of The Departed?
The Departed.
I love that movie.
Oh, yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. It was just a great cast to have.
And they all interact so well.
Oh yeah.
And it's just, the plot's so good. And I guess that's a credit to the movie it was like
Based on.
based on. Because like two different rats trying to find each other, one in the mob and then one in the police.
Police
Yeah.
force, yeah. It is a good movie. I just like to give it shit because you guys like it so much. What's your number 3?
Return of the King. Lord of the Rings.
My
I was wondering when that was going to come up on your list.
All right, what is
Doesn't
your
matter.
number?
my number
Or
2
number 2?
is The Departed.
Jesus fucking Christ. All right, anything you want to add before we move on? Good.
Well, you know what? Maybe I'll add something now.
My number 2 is Titanic. Fantastic movie. I've probably seen this movie, I don't know, Jesus Christ, 20 times, 30 times all the way through.
I've seen it probably like 100, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's just really well done. How it's a disaster movie and it's like a
Love story.
like a love story all in one, and both are done exceptionally well. Yeah, Billy Zane.
The unsung hero of the movie.
He's a great antagonist. Just the way that you see.
Also, I've seen it so many times that I've grown a particular fondness for Bill Paxton too. In that
He's the unsung hero of that movie.
and he is just not. He's such not a good actor.
He's really not.
But
Twister and shit. Oh, dude, he's so awful.
Come on now.
He
was just a bad- he's-
Tombstone, but
he
that's
doesn't have a lot of range. He plays every role the same way.
Aliens.
I haven't seen Aliens. I'll be
Oh
honest.
man, he's not good. He's just not good. I mean,
He doesn't have a lot of range.
good
Every
for
role,
him for making it.
no matter what the
as
role
it
is, he plays it the same way.
But yeah,
But I've seen it so many times that I love him in that movie.
All right, what is your number 2?
My number 2 is Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump.
I love Forrest Gump.
Yes.
I told you it could have been my number 1, but
All right. Anything you want to add?
No. I think we said everything.
Yeah.
What's your number 2?
Godfather.
Godfather. Nice. Thought I was gonna be the only one on that one.
And I'm the only one that's going to be with my number 1.
Yes, you will. I already saw your number 1.
I don't
And I'll be
know
my
what
my number 1's gonna be the only number 1.
my number 1, Godfather.
Oh, nice.
Now you know why I had such high praise for it when I was talking about it earlier. Like I said, a classic movie going into it, and like it exceeded all the expectations and all the hype that came around it.
Very nice. My number 1. This is actually my favorite movie ever, all time. I've seen it. I couldn't even tell you how many times, front to back. It's Casablanca. Humphrey Bogart.
I've never seen it.
I've never seen it.
It's a
either.
really good movie. I mean, it's got so many classic lines, and even the ending is like.
I always think of
Toby.
Toby in The Office, like at the end where he's like going to meet the Scranton Shrinker, and he's like, "I think this could be the beginning of my first friendship."
But yeah, I mean, it's the basic plot is this guy Humphrey Bogart. He basically runs a bar in Casablanca
During World War II. Right?
during World War II, and basically it's on the coast, it's on the port, and he basically gets people that are trying to escape Nazi Europe through Casablanca, Morocco.
Yeah.
And to put them on ships, he like helps them with like their paperwork and like forgeries, and puts them on a ship to America to escape the war. He's living his life. He's doing, he's got the police in his pocket. He runs there's a casino in the back of the bar, and he's doing his thing. And then a woman walks into his life, and it's the one that got away. It's the one that he But he spends the whole movie. They basically spend the whole movie on like, will they, won't they? It's at its core, it's a love story. But he basically hatches a plot to get him and her, Ingrid Bergman, the actress, and the whole plan, and she's married, she's going to leave her husband, like it's this whole thing, and then they're going to go to America together and basically just be happy. And one of the famous lines is like, "We'll always have Paris." But the twist ending is that they spend the whole movie building up to them leaving together, and he actually doesn't leave with her. He takes the ticket that was supposed to be for him, gives it to the husband, and then they go off together, and that's where he talks to the cop, and that's the line, "Oh, this is I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship."
Beginning of my first friendship.
But yeah, I mean, I can't think of a more perfect movie. I don't know why it resonates with me so well.
I saw it when I was little. I don't remember much of it.
What does he always say to her? Here's
Just looking at you.
Here's to looking at you, kid.
That was an improvised line
Mhm.
because he used to say that to the actress on set all the time.
Yeah. And yeah, like that's one of the lines, of all the gin joints in all the world, you had to walk in. Like, there's so many like classic lines in this movie, and Humphrey Bogart, he's done so many great. The Maltese Falcon, the African Queen, Casablanca. He's done so many great movies.
They're all on Netflix.
He's probably, I would have to say, he's probably my favorite actor, just top to bottom. But this movie specifically.
And you gave me crap that one day for saying that I liked Daniel Day-Lewis. And your favorite actor is Humphrey Bogart. Trying to say I'm a cinephile.
I was probably just giving a shit. But yeah, man, I could keep going. I could talk about this movie forever. But if you haven't seen it, check it out. It really is one of the all-time greats. But anyway, so. What's your number? I already know what your number one is, but go ahead.
My number one, I don't like musicals at all, but this
Sound
one
of
had
Music.
to be there.
Sound of Music.
Hey, I love Sound of Music.
Me
Sound
too.
of Music is a classic for me. I used to watch this all the time in my 2 VHS tapes.
Right.
Yeah, just the story of it is just it's
That's not
It's
Mary
awesome.
Poppins, is it?
No, that's
same
Mary
actress.
Poppins.
Same actress, Julie Andrews.
Same actress, but
Mary Poppins is Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
Sound of Music is Sound of Music.
yeah.
I like them both.
Maria.
But there are so many like classic songs that came out in the movie, like
Oh, yeah.
"A Doe, a Deer,"
Is this the Hills? Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, those are with Sound of Music. Oh, the light bulb went off.
Yeah. I know what
Isn't
movie
it called like Do Re Mi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are so many classic songs.
Do Re Mi. Was it 16 going on
Yeah, 16 going on 17.
17? I was thinking of the Jennifer Garner movie, 16 going on 30. I was like, that's not right. That's not how the song
And
goes.
it has
The bedtime song.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think I've only seen it like once when I was little.
I think I've seen it. It was probably with you. It had to have been with you a couple times.
it would have to be.
I watched it, I don't know, a few years back, maybe like 6, 7 years.
Every year, I don't know if it's around Easter.
I
They
know
play it
that
on
they
like
play it
ABC
on
or something. They
I've
play it
seen
on
TV all the
NBC or
time.
something. Yeah, well, like once or twice a year they'll play it on like network TV. No, I'm thinking of fucking Ten Commandments.
Yeah, that's Easter.
They play that on Easter. It must be a different holiday.
But one thing I noticed is the daughter. When did that movie come out?
64?
66.
66?
She looks good for a 60s chick, the daughter, in that movie.
60s
Oh, yeah.
chick.
Let's be honest. The
Yeah.
attractiveness has it's scaled well over the years, and not
Like
that many
60s.
people who were considered attractive in the 60s we would consider attractive now.
That's fair.
Pretty much the
But she looks good then, and to my standard, to my
You talking about
modern day
Laura's daughter?
standards. Yeah.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Not the youngest one.
Well, I thought there were like a couple over like the older ones. Shut the fuck up.
But yeah, she looked good in the 60s to my modern day standards.
You know who
I don't
looks
know.
the best for the 60s?
Betty White.
You know who looks the best, the hottest chick for
Marilyn Monroe?
Sharon Tate.
Oh yeah, Sharon Tate. Sad day
Yeah.
when we lost her because she was
Did you guys
hot.
see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Loved
It's
it.
really good. It's fucking hilarious.
It was
And
really
the last
funny.
20 minutes were like the best last 20 minutes in cinema history.
It was. Brad Pitt, he deserved his best supporting actor.
He swept the award season for best supporting actor.
Because it's weird to say, but like he carried that movie because Leonardo DiCaprio is my favorite actor and he was starring in the movie, but Brad Pitt's character carried that movie.
Yeah.
And he gave a shout out to one of my favorite TV shows.
Which one?
Letterkenny.
Oh, I know you like that movie. Or show.
We're talking about the Green Hornet. I don't know what we're talking about. I'm obviously lost.
No, Letterkenny's a Canadian TV show.
Wow.
I think the new season just came out on Hulu or something.
Yeah.
What's your number one?
Titanic,
I figure I didn't have to ask you that.
which I will say I've seen over 300 times. I quit counting after high school, so it's probably up to like 400 now.
Jesus.
I used to watch it every day after school on the three VHS tapes that we used to have.
All right, so there you have it, guys. I'm going to tally this up. You guys fill time. We'll see what our definitive top 10 list is.
You know, movie
Best
should have won
Pictures.
Best Picture. Christmas Story.
No, it should have won Saving Private Ryan.
I should have won that one.
That'd be a good list.
That was the year Shakespeare in Love won.
Yeah, nobody. I've only seen that once, and I don't think it was that
No.
great.
That was a lot of
That was good.
controversial-
Gwyneth Paltrow and
Judy Blume or something? Was
I'm trying to think of the
Judi
dude.
Dench?
The dude
Dench,
played
yeah,
the
not
dude.
Judy Blume. I think she was like an author of kids' books.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. The guy who played the guy.
The guy who played the
played
guy.
the guy.
The guy who played the guy who played the guy.
But yeah, nah, I don't think it was that good.
Yeah, I didn't see much of the movies you guys listed. Although out of my list here, Moonlight was pretty good.
Dude, Moonlight is
I
That's probably in my honorable mention.
see Argo. I almost put Argo on my list.
Yeah,
I
Argo
love
is too.
Argo.
I've seen
American
it, but
Beauty's really
I've seen
good.
Argo, but I don't remember Argo.
I almost put One Flew Over the Cuckoo's
Yeah.
Nest on mine.
Yeah, I saw that one.
That's really good.
Yeah,
Watch The King's Speech if you haven't. It's on Netflix for sure. Because
I'll
I
definitely watch
pass it all the time.
The Silence of the Lamb.
I've never
Wasn't
seen
there-
Silence of the Lambs.
I've never seen Silence of the
only
Lambs either.
only bits and pieces. Can't watch all these movies. There's so many good movies.
Yeah, like some of the titles on my list, mainly like either Clint Eastwood directed it.
Yeah, yeah. I see
Like
that.
$1 Million Baby.
He's one of my favorite directors.
Yeah, yeah. American Sniper is my favorite Clint Eastwood movie.
Me too.
Oh,
I've seen
yeah.
it so many times.
Yeah.
In the Philippines, when we were over there, it's like one of the 3 things we could watch in English.
It was that Frozen or The Amazing Spider-Man.
Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
I don't know. Shooter's always my favorite one to watch every time it's on TV.
I've never seen Shooter
Oh,
either.
man.
I've only seen parts of it.
I love that movie.
All right, guys, here we have it. The definitive top 10 list of Oscar Best Picture winners, starting in ascending order.
I just want to say these are my favorite. I don't necessarily think they're the
Okay,
best.
fair enough.
You know what I mean?
No, yeah, you're right.
You could objectively say that Titanic's it's not the best movie.
Our favorite.
I think my favorite is objectively like the best.
Oh,
Godfather.
Yeah.
I think that's just an amazing
But-
movie.
So at number 10, we have Annie Hall. Number 9, we have The Hurt Locker. Number 8, we have Casablanca, tied with Sound of Music. Woo-hoo. Number 6, we have Braveheart. Number 5, we have Rocky. Number 4, we have Forrest Gump. Number 3, we have a two-way tie between Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, and The Departed.
The Departed.
The Departed. Number 2, we have The Godfather. And number 1, we have Titanic.
The Titanic.
The Titanic. So there you guys have it. That is our list of the top 10 Best Picture Oscar winners. Let us know what you guys think. Obviously, these lists are always subjective. Is there anything we missed? Anything that you'd change?
I'm sure we missed a lot.
Yeah.
When I was looking through all the Best Picture winners ever, like there were so many I wanted to put on my list, but
Yeah.
I just couldn't.
So yeah, like I said, let us know if you guys agree, disagree. You can tweet at us, leave it in the comments below. If you're new to the channel, again, like I say at the top of every show, give this video a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Check us out on podcast services around the globe. And then before we go, I wanted to do a little trivia.
Movie trivia?
Oscar trivia.
I think I could nail this.
It depends.
So all I Googled was Oscar trivia. Clicked on the first link. We are going to read
Oscar Schindler.
We are going to do the first 10 questions. Some of them I kind of skimmed through. Some of them are easy. Some of them probably you're not going to answer. But we're going to give it a go. So number 1.
Is this like Jeopardy style, like before?
Yes. Which crooner... It's all going to be worth 1 point. Again, I didn't plan this very well ahead of time. Which crooner won a Best Actor Oscar for 1944's Going My Way and introduced his signature...
Frank Sinatra?
Frank Sinatra is incorrect.
I don't know. I heard crooner and I thought Frank Sinatra.
And introduced his signature song, White Christmas, in the movie Holiday Inn.
Fuck!
In which he starred with
I
Fred
don't
Astaire.
know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't do that.
Oh, no, never mind.
Go ahead.
I mean, you can. You're just going to lose points.
Nah,
No points.
I'm only like 75% sure I'm right.
Bing Crosby.
Damn it!
Number 2. Clint Eastwood has evolved from action star to iconic director. Which of these Eastwood films was snubbed by Oscar voters? Letters from Iwo Jima, Mystic River, Unforgiven, or Gran Torino?
Letters from Iwo Jima.
That is incorrect.
Damn it.
Mystic River.
Mystic River is also incorrect.
Fuck.
What was the fourth one?
Gran Torino.
Gran Torino.
Gran Torino is correct.
I knew it was that or Iwo Jima.
Gran Torino was good.
I didn't think it was Mystic Rivers, but I thought it was Letters from Iwo Jima, so. Which that was obviously wrong.
I'm going to find ones that we have actually, because some of these are from like the 1930s, like pictures from the 30s. Who won the Oscar for Best Actor for playing Hannibal Lecter?
Anthony Hopkins.
That is correct.
Yeah, that is how Gwyneth Paltrow said it at those awards. Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, that's why I hate her.
All right. So many movies have numerous nominations and win many Oscars. However, the big 5 Academy Award categories are Best Picture, Director, Best Actor, Best Actress, and Best Screenplay. Of all the following movies won Best Picture and Best Director. However, which one of these won the big 5? Gone with the Wind, Titanic, West Side Story, or One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Titanic?
That is incorrect.
Damn it.
What was the first one?
Gone with the Wind, Titanic, West Side Story, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
I'll say Gone with the Wind.
That is also incorrect.
West Side Story.
That is also incorrect.
Wow, we suck.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Won
Hey,
all 5.
It's a great movie, though.
I did
I'm not
like it.
surprised.
I heard the book was actually better than the movie, though. So
Let me see here. Let me find some ones that we...
but I don't see myself ever sitting down to read it.
Not that kind of book. Seems very depressing.
All right, here's kind of a different one. The card in the envelope for Best Animated Feature said that the Oscar goes to Wreck-It Ralph. Which film should have actually been in the envelope?
This was messed up. Somebody messed it up.
Yeah. It's not multiple choice. Sorry.
It was the year that
It was in
Wreck-It Ralph.
2013.
I don't know.
So Frozen? I know Frozen came out in 2013 or 2014. Or I'll say Frozen.
Frozen is incorrect.
Um,
It is a Pixar movie, though.
Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3 is incorrect.
Pixar.
The answer is Brave.
Brave?
I didn't really like Brave all that much.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
okay.
it was okay.
It didn't have that Pixar charm to it.
Yeah,
though.
it's her and a bear.
Yeah, I didn't like that. Like they turned in like to the animals at the end. It's weird.
Let me see if I can find one.
Well, I don't think I'm coming back. Dug myself quite a hole here. Leo's just winning.
All right. So here's one that's like phrased like a riddle.
Oh fuck.
1. I received 4 Oscar nominations with 3 wins, but surprisingly no directing nomination. 2, if you don't care for someone grating his nails against a blackboard, you should skip me. 3,
Wait, what was the last one?
if you don't care for someone grating his nails against a blackboard, you should skip me. 3, the main character of my movie first makes contact with Chrissy Watkins and then with a dog named Pippet. What modern classic am I?
I don't know that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Pippet.
Jaws. The answer is Jaws.
Never seen Jaws.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've only seen parts. And that's like sporadically.
Let's see if I can find another one. Julie Andrews picked up the Oscar for Best Actress after her first film performance. Which film did she win the award for?
Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins is correct.
I was going to say that,
Me
but I
too.
wasn't sure if that came out before or
How many
after Sound of
questions is that?
Music.
We'll just do a couple more.
I'm not in the running here.
Which of these actors won the Best Actor award consecutively for 2 years? Roberto Benigni, Jeffrey Rush, Jeremy Irons, or Tom Hanks?
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks is correct.
I knew that. I knew it before you even listed it.
What 2 movies were there?
One was Forrest Gump.
That is correct.
I know the other one, I think.
That is,
Philadelphia?
that is correct.
That's right. He had AIDS.
Okay.
I mean, you put a mentally disabled person and put somebody with AIDS, man. Odds are you're going to win the Oscars.
Alright, let me get to the next page here. We'll do 3 more.
You're completely unless we
I can get to a tie with you.
unless we get a bunch wrong.
Those were, that's not good. This movie was made in 1994. It was directed by Frank Darabont and is based on a novel by Stephen King. It received 7 Oscar noms and didn't win any. What movie am I talking about?
1994.
Oh, it was only 2.
I didn't know it didn't win any Oscars.
Stephen King.
It's based on a Stephen King novel.
He's written so many.
I know.
Was it Pet Cemetery?
That is incorrect.
Ah.
It?
It is incorrect.
That was like a miniseries, wasn't
The
it?
Shawshank Redemption,
Fuck. That didn't win any awards?
according to this.
Wow. Love that movie.
Let's try to make it closer for you, Chase.
Uh-huh. I love Shawshank Redemption.
Alright, let me find one more.
I didn't know it didn't win any Oscars.
I didn't either.
I just figured it did.
Yeah.
Who said, "I can't deny the fact that you like me. Right now, you really like me," in her acceptance speech?
Acceptance. Not the fact that you like me.
Who said, "I can't," quote, "I can't deny the fact that you like me. Right now, you really like me," end quote, in her acceptance speech for Best Actress?
I think this was very recent.
Sounds like something Halle Berry would say.
No.
Damn it.
I'm
You guys don't
done
remember
keeping
this?
track of yours.
Hell no.
I do remember.
I mean, I've seen
I
this
don't
several
remember.
times. Sally Fields?
Oh yeah, I remember now.
What's she wearing for?
It
it
was. Where'd it go? Places in the Heart. Never seen it. All right, let's do one more. The movie Titanic, having earned 11 Oscars, including Best Picture, and grossing over $600 million in the U.S., is probably. That's kind of some weird phrasing. Is probably the most successful film ever. Which of the following Best Picture Oscar winners has earned the most money at the box office after adjusting for inflation?
Is this
Alright,
is this global, domestic?
Oh, that's true.
That doesn't say. I'm assuming I'm okay. It is domestic. and it is multiple choice. So I will give you this. It is domestic, after adjusting for inflation. Gone with the Wind, The Sound of Music, The Silence of the Lambs, or Forrest Gump.
It's Gone with the Wind.
That is incorrect.
Oh, that's
Oh, wow.
global. Damn it.
Oh, what were the rest?
Sound of Music, Silence of the Lambs, or Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump.
Nope.
Sound of Music.
That is incorrect.
It's not Sound of Music?
Forrest Gump is correct.
Oh, Chase with the last one for the tie.
Oh, is there a
Actually, you
tie?
got
I won. We got it wrong.
I kept thinking global. 'Cause I know
Coming in clutch.
globally,
It's Gone with the Wind.
is
Gone
number
Adjusted
one.
for inflation.
And Sound of Music is like number 4 or 5.
All right, guys, there you have it. There's our trivia section of the show.
And Chase reclaims his crown.
is the reigning champ, at least until next week. Yeah, I already gave my spiel earlier. Give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. Anything before we sign off, guys?
No.
All right, guys. Until next time, you guys stay safe.